has spermatogonium, okay, but you can just say spermatogonium, either one's ovary, okay. And you can remember we actually could identify these in the slides that we looked at of the testicle, and they're located kind of around the periphery of the seminiferous tubules, right? And these cells are actually 2N, right? They're diploid. They have a full set of chromosomes. And then they go on to develop into primary spermatocytes, and mature into primary spermatocytes. And then they undergo the first round of meiosis. And this is where you actually go from being diploid to haploid. And then, well, I mean, technically they're not, I'm just going to confuse people, okay? But anyway, then they undergo the second round of meiosis. They go from being primary spermatocytes to secondary spermatocytes, okay? From secondary spermatocytes into early spermatids. So basically, my take-home message here is that from one starting cell, one spermatogonium, you go on to develop 4 spermatids, okay, which go on to mature into full sperm, full-fledged sperm in the epididymis. So what we're looking at here with spermatogenesis is quantity over quality. Okay, so from one spermatogonium, you get 4 mature sperm. But like I said, this is quantity over quality. So let's think of your testicles as an iPod factory, okay, an Apple iPod factory. They're cranking these, or iPhones, okay, they're cranking these guys out, and half of them don't work right? Some of them the screen's broken, or like it only plays like, one song on the iTunes library, it won't play anything else. Because these are quantity. You just made a whole bunch of them, but you weren't concerned with quality. Now on the flip side, with guys, you produce these from the time you are hit puberty until you're dead in the ground, pretty much. Okay. Now with women, it's all about quality over quantity. So here, they actually are not just showing the stages of oogonium development, but also follicle maturation. So people get a little bit confused here. Okay, so the oogonium, this is the egg. This is actually the thing that goes on to get fertilized. Okay, that gets released from the ovary, travels to the fallopian tube, it's fertilized, and then it's advanced in the uterus and it develops into a pregnancy. Okay, but with the follicle is in the ovary. It never leaves the ovary. Basically, think of it as the little housing unit for the maturing egg. Okay. So it does develop along with the oogonium, okay, the oocyte, but it doesn't ever leave the ovary. Okay, like I said, it's just like its little apartment in the ovary, which is where it hangs out in the ovary until it's released, until it gets kicked out, ejected violently. It's released. So with oogonium, these don't develop at puberty. The woman has pretty much all the oogonium she's going to have before she's even born. They develop in the fetal stage. They go on and they mature into primary oocytes, okay? And this is when the follicle starts to develop, the primordial follicle, okay? And the primary follicle. So when you're looking at the, when we look at the rabbit, you can see some of the little primary follicles. She had those before she was even born. So they just kind of sit in this stage as these primary oocytes inside of these primary follicles until she hits puberty. And then one of those primary follicles gets chosen to start developing. And every month, another one of these primary follicles says, hey, I want to take a turn, and starts developing. Okay? They just kind of all sit there. One will get picked out and will start developing each month. Okay? So let's say we grab this one primary follicle, it's going to be the one that develops. Okay? It goes on to since this is primary oocyte, and this primary follicle starts to develop into a secondary follicle. So the egg is still just a primary oocyte. Then it undergoes the first round of meiosis. And this is where we start to see that quality over quantity. So after this division of meiosis 1, you end up with a secondary oocyte, okay, and this little thing called a first polar body. So this secondary oocyte that's resulting from meiosis 1 is the chosen one. Okay, it basically has hogged all the good stuff. It took all most of the cytoplasm, the organelles, all the nutrients, while this first polar body got the shaft. Okay, it's just got those extra chromosomes and not much else. So this secondary oocyte is the one that will eventually, potentially go into the fertilized. So the secondary oocyte within, the secondary follicle develops into a tertiary follicle, which we really, it's hard to tell the difference. Basically, it's a graphene follicle. You call it that as well. And what's actually released here is the secondary oocyte that's only undergone the first round of meiosis. It's not until the sperm penetrates the secondary oocyte that it undergoes the second round of meiosis, and it creates this second polar body. Once again, it's a hog. It takes most of everything, most of the good stuff, and it just kicks out those extra chromosomes into that second polar body. So I'm not going to ask you a whole lot of details on this. They expect me to talk about the details, but my take-home message here is that women have all of their primary starting cells, their oogonium, before they're even born. There's actually new research that's saying that may not be the case. That will redevelop them later as well, but it's still kind of published, it's peer-reviewed, but for our sake, we'll just say that you have all you have before you born. And that you're looking at quality over quantity. From one of these oogonium, you only get a single functioning oocyte that can be fertilized. So one functioning gamete from one starting cell. So with guys, from one starting cell, you get 4 functional sperm. For women, from one starting cell, you only get 1 functional egg. She has all she's going to have before she's born, and she eventually runs out. Guys, you start producing by puberty, and you can just kind of produce it around. So we could talk a little bit more. Now that we've kind of just talked about the generalities of gametes, we could talk more about. Let's start with the guy first. Okay. So this is looking at the production of semen.